got a little bit of time here to hack up on the SP404 Mark II files. I got a question that came in asking if it was possible to use metadata to figure out or set the BPM. Turns out in the WAV files you can't. It won't pick up the metadata from the file name or anything else. But the other fun thing is it doesn't save any of your pitch and speed envelope or other information in the WAV file or the SMPL when you actually export the project. So what I've done is made 3 files. They're all exactly the same, just with different BPMs. And I'm going to I've already exported it as a project. So if I pop it in and CD to volumes, export, project. The fun thing that if you don't know is we've got project P1 project 01. And it's this PADCONF.BIN is the important file that actually carries all the metadata. You can see here we got 3 new samples, which are all the same name for the name here. So what I need to do, I'm going to quit out. I'm going to CP this to tilde TMP, whoop, did that wrong. CP PADCONF.BIN. All right, we'll CD back over. I got to eject this out. The reason why I'm doing this is to make a backup so that I can modify it now and then do a diff. Try to do a quick hex diff. I'm not going to probably get very far looking through this, but it will be a absolute start. All right, we're back here. Just change this to 95. So we're going from 90 to 95. So we should see a 1 or 2 byte change shift. Import, export, export, project 1. There's not much in it. It's just the 3 samples, no patterns. But I do think we can start peeling this apart with enough time. It's probably not going to get very far today. But let's do a back over here, project. We should do hex diff. And the reason why I was doing the previously, I did a diff between these samples just to make sure that they're all the same. They don't carry any metadata, as far as I can tell. But as I said, we should, yep. We've got what looks like a 2 byte difference. Jittery and weird. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think if I'm going to do more of this, I'll probably figure out, my overlay is not working right either. That's weird. I have to figure that out. Trying to get a few things working here. It reset it and then didn't do anything. Because you're crazy wabbit, you should be showing up in the text down below as well, but maybe I'm trying to get too fancy. Did I hit save? Yeah, I got something broken. Well, come back. Maybe I'll mess around with it tomorrow. Let's see what we get going. Where in the world did that adapter go? Not there. Started picking stuff up. I don't know where anything went. Well, where did I toss those cables? Found it. All right. Let's see if I can get my playlist to work this time. Haha. Oh, no. SoundCloud. Giving me a hard time. All right. That should work. Off the iPad. All right, back to this. Why is it? It was working earlier. Does the link change every single time? I have no idea. I had this working off of Discord before, but it doesn't like me. Okay. So did I get a hex calculator? No. How are we going to figure out? We went from 90 to 95. I wouldn't have. Is it 2? That hex difference doesn't make sense to me. How are they encoding it? Let's go over here. No, not bin. TMP. MV PADCONF.BIN. Call it 90.bin. We'll CP this over. PADCONF. This is 95.bin. Let's eject it. And we'll do another export. Maybe we'll do a 0.1. See what we get. Oh, come on. What's it using? Oh, terminal. I don't want to do force ejects if I don't have to. There we go. All right. Go. Shoop. Let's go manual fine tune. Let's go 90.01 and see what we get for a difference. Shift. Import, export. Project. 1. Enter. I do think if we can start figuring out these files, we can do some cool stuff, but it's going to take some time. I'd actually like to take the time to figure out patterns, because there's some stuff I could actually program into them, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, we're going to CP. Actually, I should be even more specific with this, huh? Tilde TMP PADCONF 90.01.bin MV PADCONF 90.bin to PADCONF 90.00.bin. All right, let's do hex diff PADCONF 90.00.bin with PADCONF 90.01.bin. Hex, what did I type wrong? Oh. What's hex underscore diff? I'm just typing it wrong. Wrong command. 1 point difference. Okay. So maybe it's like a 500 difference. That does make sense. Okay. I could believe that. So we're gonna go. We'll do hex diff 90 to 95. So they must be storing it as like thousands or so, hundreds or thousands. So if we go hex to deck 1, what is it we want to do? 2328. Hex to deck 1. Oh, it's dot slash. Duh. Three 28. 9,000. Okay. What was the hex diff? So I forget what I had set up as this program. 251C. Okay. That is a 5 BPM difference. Meyer, so I had somebody write in asking if there was a way to easily set BPM for different pads, and the problem is that you can't carry BPM metadata, or you can carry whatever metadata you want in a WAV file, but the SP404 Mark II doesn't read it, whether it's in the name, file name, or anything else. So if you want to figure out what the BPM is, or if you want to assign the BPM, you unfortunately it's not in any of the files. So what it does is to store all the envelope, the state for like loop, BPM sync, the BPM, like all that stuff is stored in this PADCONF.BIN. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to do for code to write BPM values, among other stuff, into the PADCONF. So right now it's just kind of doing some like basic file hacking. Not doing any manipulation yet, but just kind of trying to poke at the PADCONF.BIN file. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out what the backup.bin file is to be able to explode that. I have a couple of guesses at what Roland is doing, but that's the one that would be really awesome to figure out how to open up, but it's compressed in some way, which means we have to figure out what the compression algorithm is before we can decompress it and get out all the files. But in the meantime, there's still some interesting things I can do by just kind of hacking on the project file and possibly the pattern files. I'm not sure I can figure out what the sample, the SMPL file format Roland uses to do internal compression, but I don't know. Well, I've been meaning to get back to hacking on the files here, so if we can even just get a mapping for what all the configuration values are in the PADCONF.BIN, there might be some cool stuff we can eventually do. I don't know that anybody else is interested in hacking on it, but I figured, I used to do this stuff all the time, so it just takes the mental patience to work on it. Really what it's going to boil down to is, can you find all of the file locations? Yeah, I don't know. I used to hack on this stuff all the time, so it's just getting back on that bicycle to remember how to do some of it. But I figured if there are folks out here that are probably far faster and more competent at it than I am, so if I just get started and start documenting some things to point out like how some of this stuff works, maybe some other people get interested. Maybe we'll end up getting a Git repo together or something. But yeah, the real thing to do would be to hack apart the firmware. I've tried making changes to firmware and have been unsuccessful in getting the SP404 Mark II to load it, but that would be the thing that would allow us to potentially do some fun stuff. But I don't know enough about what they use for a chipset and other things to really get at it. So I've done all some kind of goofy stuff here. What the heck is this? Oh, it's just a really basic shell script. Okay. I think I did this when I started to hack on stuff, because this is what I was trying to do, is these are diffs of the backup files, and I would make one tiny change and you can see it's making all kinds of changes. This is indicating to me it's probably a compression stream. So like it should, and you can see here there's like 4 changes, so it might not be so bad. I don't know. I'll have to get back to poking at it. But actually, I wonder. I'm curious now because I don't remember what I was making for change it. Was I just diffing projects? I don't know. I will need to poke at it. Bait and Sopo, are you a coder at all? Let's see. I'm starting to think I might have been looking at like something different. I don't know what the heck I was modifying. Anyway, so for those that are interested, the important thing when you do this hex diff.
Think of this streaming data text as a kind of
this goofy track I did.
that comes across to the user as a portal.
Just playing the list of all the stuff I was working on for the month. So yeah, here, these two numbers, it's basically giving you the file position. So C7 and C8 are where it's storing this BPM value. So the question is, if I come in and change this for like the second pad, like are they sitting right beside each other or are they separated? I don't know yet. But I'll have to write some of this stuff down in a notebook or start a Git repo or something. I don't know. Just start taking notes. All right, so we got 91. So if we set this one, let's go, doesn't really matter. We just want to see if it changes. Let's go 92.10. So that should be 110 difference. We'll see it in 2 bytes. Shift utility, import, export project 1. All right. I have to figure out a better naming scheme for this, but maybe if I find the patterns fast enough, it won't matter. So we want to diff this with... I don't think it matters. We'll do this one. Yeah, they're pretty far apart. So it must be a segmented block of data that we can probably calculate out the difference. And the reason why it's only one, so it's 2 bytes here, it's 1 here. The reason why it's probably only a 1 byte difference is you can fit each of these hex values are up to 204. They're 0 to 250, well 0 to 255, and 110 is smaller and could conceivably have just happened to hit that ratio. So, what's up, Brian? Yeah, just kind of poking at hacking a bit on the PADCONF.BIN file for the SP404 Mark II. So, and playing some of my track-a-day stuff for January. Some of it may be kind of goofy, but I just figured I'll just play it in the background while I'm doing this for a few minutes. I didn't get my notebook. You're welcome, man. Mostly just kind of poking at the PADCONF.BIN. I figured out a while ago that PADCONF.BIN has all of the settings for like your gate, BPM sync, loop, reverse, and roll, not roll, but like that stuff, plus pitch and speed. Somebody happened to write in a question asking if there was a way to automate writing out the BPM as metadata into all the wave files, and have, like, when you come in, have all these values set correctly. And the problem is you can't do it in the wave file, and when you export the project, instead of getting wave files, you get SMPL or sample files that are a proprietary Roland format. But the PADCONF.BIN is not compressed. It's just a really weird binary format. So I was like, you know, it's probably worth taking the time to actually start hacking on this thing and figuring out what all the hex values and positions are. I'd love to do something actually even bigger on the backup files, because that's where there's a lot of really wild config settings that I think we can get at, but I don't know what the compression scheme is, and I've tried to figure it out, but no dice so far. But I might get back to, I figured this is actually a conceivably self-contained problem, because you got 160 pads. So if you know what all the locations are and what the hex format is, and it's a very straightforward hex format. If I scroll up, can I find it? Yeah, I mean, it's basically just a, so if you have a BPM of 95, it's basically in hex 25.1c, which is 9,500. So they're just basically doing hundreds for this. So as long as you just do the math, it actually works out pretty well. And it just means finding all of the locations in the file here. I suspect that there's a mathematical way to calculate what all the positions are for each value. So it's probably worth going through and documenting what every single setting or binary value is in here. On the flip side, yeah, I wouldn't even consider this PADCONF.BIN locked down. It's just obtuse enough that I don't think most people are going to go edit it because it's not human readable. But honestly, it wouldn't be that hard given enough time. It's more, I mean, the size of it is a little much, but I mean, 52K is not like terrible. What if we take a calculator? What's that work out to? 52 divided by 160. It's probably, yeah, it's probably about 300 to 325 bytes per pad, and it's probably even broken down more because you're going to have you got 160 pads. You've then got for samples, and you got 160 pads for patterns. I don't know. It'll take a little bit of time to figure out. So bait and sopo. I haven't looked enough to know if patterns have any meaningful data in the PADCONF.BIN, but the pattern files do. I've done a little bit of research looking at the pattern files, kind of doing a similar thing where we're just kind of doing a export, like make one change, do an export, and then kind of go look at it. It was a little bit weird because it carries like timing data and stuff, but I still think all this stuff's doable with just enough time and patience. So I don't know. I'm just, as I said, I think at least doing this for the BPM stuff is worthwhile, to have a tool where you can just kind of throw in, say like, hey, I want you to go do pads 1 through 16. I've loaded in loops that are BPM of like 120, just set them all to 120. Then you don't have to go, because it is kind of a pain to go into pitch speed. You gotta do this, then you gotta go, it's gonna default to 90 or whatever, then you gotta go dial in 120. It's super easy to go past it, then you're gonna dial back and all that stuff. So being able to set it really quick with a tool from the command line seems doable and potentially worthwhile. So, as I said, I figured I'd at least stream kind of poke into this thing a little bit, because I figured there'd be some people that would be interested. So I'll probably find, once I get through doing my track a day for the month of January, I got to decide if I'm going to keep doing it or if I'll just get back into doing, I don't know, like other stuff like this. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. Oh yeah, this track was weird. So let's see. We want to find if the difference. Okay, I gotta eject the drive first. I just want to see if there's like a repeating pattern for how much space there is between pads. This will be, I haven't done this in so long, it'll be easier for me to get the math wrong. But also easy enough to test if it's working or not, because we can just re-import back in a project. Alright, we are ejected. Yeah, 250 seems a little excessive. I don't know. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3. I'll make a bigger jump from this one. Let's go to like 103. Like we just want to catch the two values. Actually, I should do a bigger amount here too. Okay, exit, shift, import, export, write, project, enter. Uh-oh. 2 more tracks left. And then it's going to start playing random stuff. Zoe, you almost done with your day? We'll head out shortly. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. Oh, right, because it's exactly the same for the first entry. Why is... Well... Scroll... I feel like I did something wrong here. PAD1 is C7 and C8. Why? We know that PAD2 is something in 174, and why did I not? Okay, don't assume anything. P1 could have sworn I wrote that out, but maybe I didn't. Okay. Let's do it again. I guess this is the last track for what I put together. Go hunting for something else. Second. Eject. Didn't copy anything. Should have written out. What did I do wrong here? Maybe I didn't save it. Export project 1. Yeah, maybe I could actually do the operation. If any of you guys have done this kind of stuff before, I'm telling you, assume nothing. Like, don't assume you did the right thing, because it gets you like super twisted. There we go. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. So PAD 2 is 173 and 174. All right, let's go find what other playlists do I have over here. See if this one's any good. All right, PAD3 is 21F and 220. So a fun thing to note for folks that don't know is it's handy that these are all odd and then even numbers in hex. It doesn't matter if it's hex, but will make it easier to potentially line stuff up and do some of the math here. Well, I worked at a place that we were using 64 megabyte compact flash for storage devices for the firmware, and Newegg charged, like, we burnt them all out, rewriting and rewriting firmware for tests, and Newegg charged us an arm and a leg because you couldn't buy those things anywhere. So it's not just Roland. I think some of these companies, they just see they can get it and they take it. All right. All right, CD tilde. I should probably take this hex 2 PAD1.sh. What was that? I literally just, I should probably move that into, it was right here, wasn't it? No. I'm losing my tools. Oh no, not bin, CD temp. Huh? I don't know what happened. We lost audio. Okay. I should probably move this to bin so I don't have to keep figuring out what it is, where it is. Oh, nuts. CD. It's acting like something's touching the screen. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting hacked. Alright. These are all tracks I did for a September track a day. 2021. I don't remember if any of them are any good or not. Hex diff this. Okay. So what I wanted to do was hex2 deck1.sh. Should probably actually turn this into a better script, but just want to go C7. I gotta fix it. It needs a capital C7. Okay, so we got 199, 173, 371. I used to have all this. I could do a lot of this hex math really fast, but it's been way too long. What was the last one? 21F. So 543. Let's grab calculator. Okay, so 371 minus 199, 172. Difference, cool. 543 minus 371, 172. So what this means, guys, is every 172 bytes, we have a BPM value, which means we should be able to calculate the BPM value for every single slot in the PADCONF.BIN for all 160 entries. Well, also let's do the math. 172 times 160. That means about 27.5K is dedicated to pad information. The rest, maybe is patterns. I don't know. I'd have to go start messing with patterns to do some similar math, but means we just need to probably figure out what 172 bytes worth of content is, and that is super doable. So I'm gonna end here. I gotta go take my dogs out and stuff, but get ready for the end of the day. But I don't know, I'll keep doing a few of these and keep messing around with it, see if we can figure this stuff out. Hey, Bug Out, you might end up liking rewatching this, doing some SP404 Mark II file hacking and figuring out some stuff, man. So if you're up to helping figure out what 172 bytes worth of stuff is, I'll figure out how to... Oh, you don't have an SP404 Mark II, do you? You just caught the end. I was basically writing stuff out to the SD card and figuring out where data is in the PADCONF.BIN. So, see if I can peel that apart and figure that out. No, although I should think about it. I could do a goofy coding channel, but it's been a while, so it would take me a little bit of time to get back up to speed. I know enough to be dangerous is the important part. Anyway, guys, I'll you might have to skip a few minutes in. I was goofing around with the stream settings. Might be like 10 minutes in or so, but yeah, well, I can only do music only. I have to create a second channel for doing anything else. I actually have gotten like really downvoted on some non-music related streams I've done, so you might be onto that. You might be right. Anyway, guys, keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.